Welcome back to another episode, baby. Boston Celtics trashed the Mavs. Trashed them. They look bad. And what's going on in Oklahoma? These girls are unbeatable. And we lost the legend this week. All of that and more right here on Son of a Gun.
Rest in peace to my grandma, yeah, she raised the dawn. Yeah, and shout out to my mom, I'm a son of a gun.
Welcome back, baby. Another episode of Son of a Gun is right here, and I'm joined by no one better than my man's Big Mike.
Hey, yo, good to be back. Got a lot to cover. Let's get it.
Let's get right into it on Juneteenth. Happy holidays. Boston Celtics. What did they do? They went out there. People doubted them. I doubted them. I thought they'd been cruising the whole playoffs. And what did they do? They proved me wrong. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, the boys looked phenomenal. And they smashed the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games to win an NBA championship.
So they just finished off what they started when the playoffs started, but basically what started last October. They had a point to make after the last 2 seasons of choking it out, basically. And they had a lot to prove, so they got after it. They had no doubt in their abilities, their capabilities. They brought the defense. Dallas looked bad.
Dallas looked terrible. I mean, Kyrie Irving only shows up for 1 game. 1 game out of 5. What are we doing, bro? This is the biggest stage of, I don't want to say your career because you have won a finals before, but at this point, this is the biggest stage you've been at in a long time. And Kyrie Irving, one of the most aesthetically pleasing basketball players, you know, the off-the-court stuff, who cares, man? The dude's got it. When he's on the court, he's fluid. He should not be able to be stopped, and the Boston Celtics stopped him. I mean, I think that was one of the biggest reasons that the Mavericks struggled. Luka Doncic. I mean, what did he score? 70 points a game in the finals? He was doing his thing on offense, but what was he doing? He was moaning and complaining when he didn't get foul calls. And you know who hates that? The other players on your team, son. They all see that. They hate that. And then you're going to take yourself out of game 4 late in the game and foul out. Unacceptable. I think that Luka crumbled when it really mattered. And Kyrie Irving was thinking about taking his family down to Cancun.
Well, that probably is so. That probably is true. I'm not going to doubt. The problem that Luka had, the problem that Kyrie had, the problem that the Mavericks had was Boston. Plain and simple. Those boys came to play. They put it on them. They played defense. They played defense in the NBA the way it's supposed to be played. The refs let them play.
I thought there was no defense in the NBA nowadays.
It's the only time they played defense. And so the refs let them play, and those little pity-pack LeBron calls shouldn't have been called, and they weren't called. It was great basketball. It allowed Boston to be who they are, the Celtics, and to win that championship. Now, of course, none of the Laker fans, or Lakers for that matter, liked it because they didn't want Boston to have that other one. But Boston has been there for the last 3 years. They just kind of figured out this year what it takes to win, and they put it on Dallas. So I don't really think Dallas had a bad game per se, as they had to go up against the Boston Seas. And those boys had already come through the playoffs, proving that they weren't taking any prisoners, taking no names. They had all the receipts from the last 2 years, cashing them in, baby. Way to go, Boston. Congratulations.
See, I hate when you do this. They had all the receipts. Earlier in the earlier shows, you said they didn't play anybody. They've been on cruise control. Guys have been hurt. That we don't even know if they're good. And all of a sudden, they just been handing out ass whippings all playoffs. Just cut it out, bro. Stop it. So you think that the Boston Celtics were better than the Mavs struggles? So let me rephrase that. So you think that the Boston Celtics won it because they're better and Dallas didn't lose it because they sucked?
I think the Boston Celtics caused the struggles of the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, that's right. And let me go ahead and say, I was surprised as well because I didn't really feel like they played anybody to get to the finals. And yet, they just showed up in the finals and did the same thing they had been doing the whole playoff series. It didn't matter who else was on the court. Not one time. Now, they cried a little bit talking about the fans up in Boston with the one loss to Dallas like they did in the previous series. But after that point, the Boston Celtics changed gears, got their mind right, swept Indiana, and had nothing but animosity toward the Dallas Mavericks. Luka who? Those guys feel like they got the best two players in the NBA playing in Boston. They feel like they got the best two players.
Are you saying that the two best players in the NBA are on Boston?
They feel like they have the best two players.
Just want to be
NBA.
clear.
I'm very clear. I said it 3 times. They feel like they have the best two players in the NBA. And right now, standing here right now, on Juneteenth,
good day.
Who's going to argue with them? They got the ring, baby.
I mean, they have the best players. That means they have the best team. Everybody knows that it's a team sport, right? It's a team sport.
They still feel like they have the best two players. And they said that going in because they didn't know if they was going to have Porzingis or not.
So I'm assuming you're saying the best two players were Derek White and Al Horford.
So Drew Holiday may feel that way.
Drew Holiday had a great playoffs. I feel like boom, when he was on the Bucks, won the championship, he was that piece that they needed to go get it. Right? Boom, they let him go for some very odd reason I can't tell you. Then he comes over here and you said they had been in the playoffs. They just needed something to get over the hump, and they figured it out. Well, did they figure it out, or did Drew Holiday bring something to Boston Celtics that they were missing before?
I think it's a combination of the two. Last year, they crumbled against Miami. What they do to Miami this year? They holding that receipt.
And so, boom, you also said defense. Right. What is Drew Holiday known for?
Defense.
There's your answer.
Defense.
There's your answer. There was a lot of great players on the Boston Celtics, but only one guy can win the Finals MVP.
Right.
Watching the games, bada bing, bada boom. Yep. With the eye test, you got to go Jaylen Brown, right?
Jaylen Brown all day.
But then I said the same thing, but then my man's over here, he said, hey, go peep the stats. Go look at what the stats say. Who was leading every category from points to assists to rebounds, minutes played? Jason Tatum. Light-skinned Jesus himself. They hated on him, so they didn't want to give him the trophy. But if we go by the stats, it should have been him.
And it is about the numbers. I mean, he put the work in. And but at flash and dash time, it looked like Jaylen Brown was there. But how did they get there? This should have been a co-MVP season between those two guys. Clearly, Jaylen Brown had a good series. There's no doubt about it. But Jason Tatum, the numbers prove it, he should have been the MVP.
So let me say this. Sure, maybe he had the most points, the better stats. But sometimes it's not about how many points you score, but it's about when you score them.
Sure.
Right? Boom. Sure. Who when they needed one, who was going to get it?
Sure.
Boom.
Right.
When they needed to make a play, who was doing it?
Sure.
Jaylen Brown. That's why he got MVP.
Sure. But he didn't throw the ball into himself, dribble it all the way down court through 5 guys and get the bucket. No. So Jason Tatum should have been in there on those assists, and he were. So he facilitated. He didn't step back. He facilitated to what's best for the team to be most effective in this given situation. And he still led the team in points, assists, rebounds, minutes played. That's your MVP. That's your MVP. How many quarterbacks in the NFL win the MVP of the Super Bowl when all they do was throw the ball to a receiver who had to catch it, miss a tackle, stiff arm somebody, and still run 60 yards? And the quarterback gets the MVP trophy. Jason Tatum, congratulations, man.
He didn't even get the MVP. That's
my point. I'm congratulating because he should have.
Okay, and let me say this. Jason Tatum, very easy to hate that guy, right? Light skin, 6'9", tattoos, right? Now he's got a championship under his belt. Right. But what am I going to do? I'm going to hate on him. So, boom, I don't know if you watched the post-game interviews. He just had nothing original to say. And it gets me so heated. Boom, he gets on there. He's like, what are they going to say now? What are they going to say now? If we rewind a few years when Golden State won it, what did Steph Curry say when he was getting the champagne shower? That's exactly what he said. Then, boom, the post-game party, right? He gets the microphone with the trophy in his hand, and what did he say?
What did he say?
They asked what would happen if we didn't win. I guess we'll never know. Rewind. Kanye West in all-white suit. So famous, infamous. Bro, you're a champion. Come up with your own stuff. Have something better to say than that. Congrats, my guy. Good job on winning the thing, I guess. And you got to hold your son Deuce up under the confetti. That's a nice little picture. Put that on the 8x8 frame. Throw that up in the crib. But come up with better lines, man. You just won a championship. You should have been practicing it in the shower before you won the last game there. You have to know you're going to be in that situation, that position, and you fumbled. You crumbled, just like a light-skinned dude.
Well, he was probably had his speech ready to accept both the championship and the MVP. Oops. So I thought he did good. Good job. Congratulations, Jason Tatum. Congratulations, Jaylen Brown. Hey, congratulations,
Glazing.
Boston.
Glazing. You're glazing. You know what?
Way to
Hey,
go.
we're going to take a break. We'll be right back, man, to talk about something more important. That's ridiculous. And I didn't even say my honorable mention, Air Bud. Top 5 sports movie.
My number 5 is Major League. At number 4, I have Coach Carter. At number 3, I actually have the Rocky Creed movies. So at number 2, Remember the Titans.
That was my number 2.
For my number 1 is Brian's song.
Oh, wow. And number 5, Dodgeball. Number 4, Major Leagues. 1 and 2. For my number 3, Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino.
Remember the Titans.
That was my number 2. Coming in at number 1, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this is a competition, but I think I got a better little top 5 than you, my man. And I didn't even say my honorable mention, Air Bud. In other basketball news, NBA draft, June 26th and 27th, first and second round. Very interesting conversation was had today by us and a few friends. You know, we went out and golfed. What did you shoot? A 97? And I shot an 81. And whatever, doesn't matter what we shot. But we did have a conversation after we had the 19th hole. And the topic of, should Bronny James get drafted to the NBA this season? What did your boy say?
Yeah, he said he absolutely should be drafted, not to the Lakers, but to some other team, and they should take him, develop him, and then in 2 years, when LeBron's contract is up, they'll bring him over so he can play with his son.
Yeah. So on this show, we have a lot of hot takes, but I don't think we've had any takes that are that hot. That is insane. that is incredible. That's so bad. There's just no excuse for that. Bronny James should not get drafted this season. I think he should go back to college, do his time in college, probably come out as a senior after he's got some, experience under his belt, develop down there, sell out seats at USC when LeBron comes to watch him play. But go to the NBA is crazy right now. Rich Paul already said that he's not going to be on a two-way or play in the G League. So he wants this man on the 15-man roster. Are you insane? He's 6'0", 180 pounds.
At most.
What is he doing with guys in the NBA? What's he going to do when he's got to guard Zion? Yeah. When he gets in a pick and roll situation, he gets switched on to Zion. Zion already likes to eat. Zion already likes to eat. Bro, eat that boy up like it's nothing, bro. Hey, do not draft Bronny James,
So clearly our buddy was out in the hot sun with us playing golf, was probably suffering from heat stroke or heat deprivation or just needed his electrolytes and a Pedialyte probably. But to feel like Bronny is worthy to be drafted, and he even questioned if he should be the last player drafted or on the first day. But so our friend was just suffering a little bit. It could be he was just worn out because he shot, I don't know, like 212 or something. But still, it was just, we were in the AC.
But he did have the longest drive of the day. he had the. He did have the longest drive of the day, and he did have a nice birdie on 13.
Congratulations. Way to go, KB. Way to go. So
the only place, if Bronny does get drafted, I'll say this, the only place I think would make any sense would be the Los Angeles Lakers. Even if he doesn't get drafted, if he gets signed, I think only the Lakers make sense. Otherwise, I don't see a GM taking Bronny at this point, because what are you going to do? Wait 2 years and then try to sign LeBron James? The most important thing you got to do is win basketball games to fill seats. And if he goes to a loser like Detroit or something, in 2 years, LeBron James is not going to want to come over there. I promise you that. LeBron will stay in LA and somehow work out a trade, probably tamper with the league to get his son out there in LA. But he's not going to a loser to finish his career, his legendary, illustrious career.
In 2 years, he ain't even going to be playing. The only reason he's mentioned now is because he's out there in L.A. If he was in Minnesota or somewhere, nobody would even know who the hell he was.
No one would know who LeBron James is.
I said what I said. So yes, we are in agreement. Bronny should not be drafted. Period. Plain. Not today. Not by any GM that's trying to keep his job, who's trying to develop and pull the groceries in to win a championship. They just did it in Boston. You learned something last year out in Minnesota, and you got this little legacy that's going over in Golden State. So no GM is going to pick that up. So it was just a waste of conversation and a waste of time. But everybody has their ideas. That one he should have kept and took to the grave.
But he did have the longest drive. Oh, but I will say we did talk about this earlier, though, in an earlier episode. In the NBA draft, who's got the first pick this season?
The Atlanta Hawks.
The Atlanta Hawks, right?
Right.
One thing he also said about the Atlanta Hawks, that Trae Young is the reason that they're losing and that he needs to get out of there. But I will say, with the draft coming up, they have a chance to get a big man. Right. That is what they need. They have offense. They need a guy, a rim defender, someone who you can work down low.
Correct.
They need a big center. And your boy, what's his name? Sarr?
Sarr. Yep. And that's why I had them taken. So we'll see. It's coming up in next week? So next week or 10 days. And so we'll see what they do. That's who they need. They need somebody in the middle. So if they can work that chemistry out and make that pick, do the right thing. Don't surprise the Hawks fans with the Falcons pick and pick Bronny. Okay, so I just had a crazy thought. Now go with me on this. This might seem insane. I just thought of another location for Bronny to get drafted to this year. The Dallas Mavericks. Why would he do that? In the NBA Finals, what did LeBron say? Oh, man, I wish I was still Kyrie's running mate. That's what he said.
Oh, man, boom. You get Bronny out there in Dallas. LeBron gets to reconnect with his boy Kyrie. They don't let Luka touch the ball. and they go knock down the Boston Celtics, who think that they have started a, what's it called when you keep winning?
A dynasty.
A dynasty. That's what, those New Englanders love to have dynasties. After Brady did it, they just swear they win one, they're going to win a ton, but I don't think so. The
Dallas Mavericks. And not let Luka touch the ball.
that was just a joke. That was a joke. Yeah, he led the league in points this year. Right. That was a joke. Okay, so my last question about the Celtics, I just want to jump back real quick. You said they got the pieces. They found the guys. They got over the hump. Are they going to start a dynasty now?
They can. Will they is going to depend on if they come back as hungry as they have been the last 2 years. The reason why I feel like they can is because they've been here. Now, this is their third year. Now they're over the hump. They know what it takes to win. I think they still have that. And I think once they get back from the parties, from South Beach and from the ocean views and all of that, they'll get back and get ready for business. Now, the draft next week is really – the players probably won't feel that as much this month as they will feel it probably in August and then on into September. The quick answer to your question is absolutely.
Okay.
Because who's going to stop him? There's nobody in the East that can stop him.
Well, let me say this. When you finally get to eat your cake, you keep eating and get a little hungover from the cake. Now you're not going to work as hard. And what have the Boston Celtics been known to do?
Right.
Choke.
Right.
I see them choking again next year. Too much pressure. You won one now it's expected. They're going to choke.
That point is clear. It is expected.
They're like the number 1 high school pick going to Kentucky, baby. One and done. One and done. Get them out of here. Get them gone. I hate Boston. But, hey, we're going to be right back. We're going to get on a real dynasty out there in Oklahoma with that softball team, baby. We'll be right back.
The 5 best times to have a beer.
At number 5, the beach beer. Coming in at number 4, the pool party beer. Coming in at number 3, and I want to preface this, you should not drink and drive. That fresh off of work roadie. Number 2, the post-yard work beer. Coming in at number 1, baby. The pregame shower beer. Count it up. There's my top 5.
Coming in at number 5 for me is that yard work beer that you mentioned.
beer.
Coming in at number 4, ain't nothing topping that happy hour beer.
I forgot about the toothbrush. That looked crazy.
At number 3, the 19th hole. Number 2, when the family disappears for the weekend. And number 1, birth of your child. Everybody's holding the baby. Everybody's holding the wife. And you get to stand back there.
Look at what I've done. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. Oh, he does have a heart. He's so nice and gentle.
Hey, but look, don't tell nobody. I have a reputation. Don't tell nobody.
Oklahoma Sooners.
So welcome back.
Oklahoma Sooners women's softball. Jesus. Hey, sorry for that little outburst from my special guest of the show. That's insane. Oklahoma Sooners softball, though. They do it again. 4 championships in a row, back to back to back to back. They've only lost 15 games in the past 4 seasons. What is the conspiracy? Why are they winning?
You know what? I think some people are sleeping on those guys out there in Oklahoma. They know how to play softball. They've got this together. And they just run it. Here's the conspiracy. Why is the College Softball World Series held in Oklahoma in their backyard? Right? So with that point, then shouldn't they keep winning? And to only lose 15 games in 4 seasons where you have won, close to 300 games? 300 games, 300 wins and 15 losses? Somebody should be checking some urine or something. We're not sure what the conspiracy is. They just keep right on winning. But even with all of that, they have some players. Tiari Jennings. Well, she's going to
talk about a problem.
Oh, just
a problem. I mean, she had her worst season in terms of batting average this year. She only hit 370.
Only 370.
370. How many home runs? 25 home runs.
25 dingers.
25 home runs. And you know, for a power hitter like that, she probably struck out a ton. You know, and 200 at-bats, struck out 17 times. 17 times. 69 RBIs.
Rigs.
Nice. Absolutely insane. What can she not do? Bro, is she the best college softball player ever?
And she plays third base 98%. She's just not making errors. She doesn't strike out. She doesn't make errors. And this was her worst season at 370.
Career stats. She's a 412 hitter. 412. Career. She's a senior. And she's a senior. Played over 60 games in all 4 years.
All 4 years.
Played all 66 this year.
Started all 66.
Absolutely insane. She's played, I don't know how many games, but she only didn't start one game.
One game in 4 years, 4 seasons. Didn't start, but started every game except one. 412 career. What is that? Like 100 homers, right? It's got to be.
98 bombs. 98 bombs. What are we talking about? 98 bombs, 314 RBIs career out of 762 at-bats. 762 at-bats at the college level in Oklahoma. She has struck out 60 times.
Tiari.
302 times she's putting the ball, or 702 times she's putting the ball in play. What are we talking about?
Tiara Jennings.
What are we talking about?
Tiara Jennings. So now we're back to our conspiracy. What's really going on?
I don't know. Are they juicing? She's a big girl, but she ain't, her traps aren't up to her ears. But, they got to be doing something. I don't know. The water's just different out there in Oklahoma. Maybe the balls fly different, home court advantage. I don't know. But whatever it is, I want some because they win.
They win. They're just
bro.
winning.
They
Taking
win.
on any visitors, any volunteers, anybody that wants to step up and step out there, just knocking them down. So whatever those guys are doing out there,
you gotta stop saying that. You gotta stop saying that. We're gonna get canceled. I'll leave when he tells me what I said. Stop it. We're going to get canceled. Those women out there are a great bunch. They're a great bunch. And we like what they're doing.
Keep it up. Hey, congratulations, Tiari. And to the rest of the Sooners, way to go on your 4-peat. Wow, 4-peat.
Imagine going to college and winning a championship every single year. Oh, my God.
That would put you up there in LeBron air.
Moving on. We did lose a legend of the sports world and the black history world, Willie Mays. Passed away age 93 earlier this week. And I will say he did a lot for not only the baseball community, but, black people in general. And we were blessed enough to be able to go and look at some of his stats. And my God.
Say, hey, kid.
My God. You watched him play.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you got on Willie Mays?
And it was always exciting just to be at the ball game when he was out there in center field, just to recognize and say his name, and to even, yell his name so loud that he turns around and waves to us. And so if we go on in life and we think about some memories that we have, that's just one of them, to be able to say, I was there when he turned and waved to us, because we called him, say, hey, kid. Say, hey, kid. And I was just a kid. So it was a fun time. It was good to see him. To see that he was out there, really hustling in and out every single game, that made baseball fun for me. That made baseball one of my lifelong favorites. And so I can only say that because of his efforts, I really enjoyed the sport, and I thought he played it well, played it tough, played it hard, and always played it.
Mm-hmm. And he has arguably one of the best defensive plays ever in a World Series. The over-the-shoulder catch, I don't know how many times I've seen it, and it's just an iconic play that lives in my head every time I think about postseason baseball.
And it's called the catch, right?
The catch, over the shoulder. And anyone who knows anything about Willie Mays, you know exactly what catch I'm talking about. It looked a lot better than that. But looking at some of his stats, and we have to remember, such a great guy, right? He did what Ali wouldn't do. The prime of his career, took 2 years off to go serve in the military. Absolutely incredible guy and an American. But he had 660 home runs, 3,293 knocks, and he took 2 years off in his prime. If we really think about that.
And extrapolate that out.
He probably would have had 720 homers, 3,500 hits.
Yep.
Like crazy stuff.
And he's a member in the club of all of those that hit 50 home runs in a season. He's also a member of the club of those that have 20 triples in a season. But he is the only one that is a member of both. To say, hey, kid.
I mean, an absolute incredible power, speed, energy, phenomenal player. He was a 15-time All-Star.
15 times.
15-time All-Star. Not only was he a 15-time All-Star, he got a hit in all 15 games. 23 knocks in 15 All-Star games. Playing the best players in the league. He was banging. Like, that is incredible. He was by far the best player while he played. And it wasn't just on the offensive side. He also had 12 gold gloves out in center field, the most for a center field position. And absolutely just phenomenal. We mourn the loss of Willie Mays this week.
Rest in peace.
One in the chamber. It's time. It's time.
For one in the chamber. I got one in the chamber for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
You know, we went out today on Juneteenth and played golf with our buddies. Had a pretty good time. We had a good time. Without a doubt, we had a good time. And then afterwards, we went over to the 19th hole. And so even that was enjoyable, a little trolling and whatever else. But still, that was just fun. Here's my question to you, because I know how I feel about things, and people have just harassed me. You had an opportunity today.
I know it's coming.
To witness somebody ordering boneless buffalo wings, and I just want to get your take on that.
So, it's one of those things where I didn't actually think I'd see it in person. I thought it was more like a myth, something you just hear about. They whisper about it in corners, in the streets, something I never thought I would see in person. But today, I had to let somebody know what I thought about them, because you already know how we feel about the boneless wings. But then I don't even know the word. Naivete. That they didn't even know what was so wrong about getting the boneless wings, huh? Okay, we're at Taco Mac. Get some bones in your wings, man. I had to tell him, I said, what do you mean? Those are adult chicken nuggets. Okay, if you're going to do it, you get that to go and you put a fake name down and you put a ski mask on when you go get it. You take it straight to the crib and you eat it in your bedroom alone. You don't let anybody know that. Are you kidding me? And then he tried to do it with other grown men there too? Are you nuts? Because then it looks bad on all of us if we let that happen. It's not just you. You got to think about what you represent. You represent me too, and you want to get little buffalo wings, little boneless buffalo wings from Taco Mac. Sick to my stomach. And he said, I don't understand it. I don't get it. And that's the problem. That is the problem. Get it together. I didn't want to do this. He woke me back up. I had let it go. But that is insane. That should never happen again. Don't ever let me see it again. Okay? Clean it up. No boneless wings around me. Are you nuts? I'd rather you get salmon from Taco Mac to get some adult chicken tenders. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? And then, you know what? And then the thing that actually got me so mad, the thing that got me so heated is he said, well, I didn't want to get my hands all dirty eating the chicken wings. Now look at me, Tony. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They got an abundance of wet naps, and they got a bathroom where you can wash your hands. You didn't want to get your hands dirty. And you're a grown man. You're going to say, I didn't want to get my fingers dirty with sauce. Bro, you need to go to prison for trying to get boneless wings. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm heated again. I'm hot. Get your life together. Get a grip. Get a grip, bro. Oh, my God. That's just crazy.
Nice. That's nice. So I think the point is pretty clear. I was just as shocked, disappointed. I tell you, just threw the winds out of my balloons. It was fascinating. It was fascinating. And they're followers. He's a follower. So
In public.
So I just wanted to get your take because I feel like I have kind of beat that horse.
Yes, you have, man. And look, now I'm heated, man. Take us out of here, dog. Take us out of here.
So let me go ahead and scribble that on down and count another one done. I am Big Daddy, and he's
Son of a gun.
Now, I just want you to know we played golf and had high balloon. At the end of the round, I looked at the card, and of course, everything went boom.
Peace.
Let the band play.
Rest in peace to my grandma, yeah, she raised the dawn. Yeah, and shout out to my mom, I'm a son of a gun.